22 minutes after 9, let's go back to our top story. Now, we understand that the court case involving the public protector and President Cyril Ramaphosa has been postponed. ENC's Moloko Moloto is joining us now live from outside court in Pretoria. Kotshwane, can you tell us, Moloko, what's happening?
Hello, Braden. Absolutely. The public protector as well as the President of the Republic had a date today. They were, at least their lawyers, were meant to be arguing in the High Court in Pretoria. This is over the President's urgent application through which he seeks to interdict implementation of the public protector. You'd remember she actually ruled or made a remedial action in one of her many findings, saying that the President must discipline Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan for authorizing the early pension retirement with full pension payout to former Deputy SARS Commissioner Ivan Pillay. But as you correctly said, the matter will no longer be heard today. But let's get the reasons from Opa Cyril. He is the spokesperson for the public protector. Opa, you were meant to be in court today, the public protector and the President. Why is it not continuing?
Well, thank you, Moloko. Late last night it emerged that there was no judge assigned to hear this particular case, and that the matter was going to be resolved this morning. And so this morning all the parties met with the Deputy Judge President Ledwaba to deal with that particular matter, and the Deputy Judge President undertook to find a judge to hear this matter, and the matter will now be heard on Thursday.
Okay. Were you given reasons why there was no presiding officer assigned to preside over this case? Because the President, we understand, filed his papers 2 to 3 weeks back.
At this stage, I'm not aware of the reasons behind all of that. All that I know is that the matter has now been resolved and the case will be heard on Thursday.
Do you know who will be presiding over this matter on Thursday?
Well, the Deputy Judge President is still going to find that judge, and then we will know soon enough. But at this stage, we have got no idea who will be hearing the matter.
Let's talk about the reasons why, as the public protector, you have decided to oppose the President's urgent application to interdict her remedial actions. What are the main reasons?
Well, first and foremost, the public protector is of the view that, once there is a review application by an aggrieved party, there ought to be an interdict to stay the implementation of that review pending the outcome of the review. But that should come from the aggrieved party. In other words, it can't be the President who interdicts himself, or who says he does not know what to do going forward because in his view maybe there's no employee-employer relation between him and ministers. And we have been saying that this is not the first time. For instance, the public protector calls on the President to take action against the minister. Yeah. We have seen that before in the cases of former Minister Des van Rooyen, former Minister Lynn Brown, where the President took action after the public protector made findings that they misled the legislature.
Yeah. But what is interesting, Opa, is that the remedial action of the public protector are instructing the President to take disciplinary action against Minister Gordhan. And in his court papers, the President argues that he would rather wait for outcomes of the judicial review application that was made by the by the Minister, before he takes disciplinary action against him, because he doesn't believe that his review application is frivolous. I mean, that makes sense. When you say he's not the one who's supposed to be interdicting implementation, what do you mean? Because he is the one who's being instructed to take action.
The President is the authority that ought to take action. And then Minister Gordhan is the party against whom findings were made and against whom action must be taken. So he is the aggrieved party. He's the one who should be interdicting the public protector. But coming back to your question, not interdicting the public protector, I'm sorry, interdicting the President, who is the implementer of the remedial action. But going back to your question, our view has always been that to merely institute review proceedings does not stay the implementation of the remedial action, because the Constitutional Court was very clear. It said that the public protector's remedial action is binding unless set aside by a court of law. As we speak now, there is no court decision that sets aside that remedial action. All that we have is a process to have that report reviewed.
All right, quickly, Opa. If the Minister Pravin Gordhan were to lodge an urgent court application to interdict these remedial actions, will you oppose that?
It will depend on what he says. As you saw yesterday, we said in court that ordinarily we would not have opposed his court action yesterday. We were just not happy with the kind of language that he used and the kind of things that he says in his court papers, saying things like the public protector is part of state capture, is part of ANC factionalism and so forth. We didn't take kindly to those kind of comments, and we asked the court to strike them out so that the executive understands that they ought to, support and protect Chapter 9 institutions in line with Section 181, subsection 3 of the Constitution.
All right. Thank you so much, Opa. Opa Cyril speaks for the public protector. There you have it. We will certainly be back here on Thursday. Hopefully by then, the presiding officer would have been assigned to preside over this particular case. Back to you, Braden.